Hey there, my fellow lunatics, and welcome to Dakon's Madhouse. It's another day in Dakon's Build Laboratory. What will we be experimenting with today? No, I am not baking you another cake. You eat too much cake. No. Today, we will be taking a look at a brand new poison build. What exactly does poison do? Well, the poison effect in Corekeeper doesn't actually do damage. Instead, it reduces the amount of healing an enemy target can receive by 75%. So if it would normally heal 100 hit points, it now only heals 25 hit points. But so what? Most enemies don't have healing abilities. I mean, Igneous does, but if you kill him fast enough, he never gets a chance to use them. So does it even matter if the target can't heal as much, if the heal never even triggers? Well, yes, actually. There are skills and other items that synergize with poison and increase your damage to poison targets. But is it enough to be effective? As usual, Igneous is my initial test subject while I perfect the details. Do you want to max out your chance of applying poison per hit? Is the poison shield worth using? Do you use crit accessories or damage accessories? Are the melee damage bonuses better than straight damage bonuses? I churned through the options, and this is the build that, for me, came out on top. All of my gear is leveled up to 18 and reinforced when possible. First, we have the Atlantean Worm Helm. This is probably the best helm in the game right now. It drops off of the Atlantean Worm in the Sunken Sea. For our chest, we're wearing Ivy's Thorn Harness. And Ivy's Pants are our leggings. Both items drop off the slime boss Ivy in Azios' Wilderness. These two items get a set bonus that improves our critical hit chance after applying poison. The lantern is the Poison Lantern. You can craft this at the Octarine workbench. The bag is Morpha's Bubble Bag. This item drops off the slime boss Morpha in the Sunken Sea. Around my neck is the Glass Bead Necklace. This item drops off of the large alien tech crates in the Shimmering Frontier. For rings, we have two glass bead rings. These rings drop off the small alien tech crates in the Shimmering Frontier, so just break every crate you run across and you'll get all your accessories. The offhand item is Omeroth's Beak. This drops off the Titan Omeroth in the Sunken Sea. And our weapon is the Poisonous Sickle. This drops off the slime boss Ivy in Azios' Wilderness, and can be found stuck in a cicada corpse's skull in the mold dungeon at 750 tiles away from the central core. Unfortunately, there are no ranged options. This is a melee-only build. For your pet, I recommend the Owl Lux with crit hit chance or some crit damage bonuses. However, the Fan Hair is also an excellent pet for this build. Get one that focuses on applying poison and critical hit damage to get the most out of the Fan Hair on boss fights. There's something in pretty much every skill tree that has some sort of value for this build, so gonna need to rank up all of your skills. Starting with the mining tree, we have Miner's Strength, which adds 10% mining damage to my melee. In the running tree is Keeping Tempo. This adds a 15% damage boost after moving for a short time, so stay in motion while you kill those bosses. The melee tree is full of important perks. Fast and Furious is very important for the attack speed boost, but don't forget building Anger for the extra damage boost, or Strength of the Ancients for the 20% boost to bosses. In the Vitality tree, Strong and Healthy provides a 10% damage boost while at max health. And these fights are over so quick, you won't be taking much, if any, damage. In the ranged tree, amplified precision gives you an extra 40% critical damage. Now, the gardening tree is the most important. I tried poison-coated weapons, but honestly, I found that even with a lower percentage, I was still applying at least one poison before the fight ended, and that was all I needed because these fights ended pretty quickly. I found it best to stick with thorny weapons for the critical hit boost and potent poison for the damage boost to poison targets. In the fishing tree, the power of omega-3 boosts our damage against bosses if we eat fish food, and we are always eating fish food. In the cooking tree, healthy diet doubles the well-fed buff, which increases your damage boost from 5% to 10%. And the smell of food adds an extra 20% damage to all of your attacks. There are several food buffs and potions that can be used to buff you for boss fights. Even without any food, this is still an effective build. But once you add the food buffs to this build really gets pretty strong. Here are the foods and potions that I like to use. I have a video linked above where I go into detail on all the buff foods that I use, so go check that video out after you finish this one in order to fill all of your foodie needs. While testing, I found that the key items to this build are the helm, the chest, the pants, and especially the weapon. The accessories in the offhand can actually be pretty fluid depending on what you've had access to and your personal preferences. For the overall fastest kills, the glass bead accessories and Omaroth's beak were my favorite, with the fastest kill time coming in at 3 seconds and the slowest coming in at 4 seconds. However, I used a wide variety of other necklaces, rings, and accessories, and found that most of those kill times tended to range in the 4 to 5 seconds. And while that is only a 1 second difference, that is still a 25% difference in the kill speed. And I think that just about wraps it up for today's video. I hope you enjoyed yourself, and until next time, stay crazy.